Hey guys, Nate from County Line Training. So I want to talk to you a little bit about flashlights. I get quite a few questions, especially in our concealed carry class where we go over stuff like that, into flashlights. What should I get? What does it need to do? Why do I need to carry it? So first off, let's start about why. Well, if we're going to carry a gun, we need to carry a light because we need to be able to identify what a threat may be. So that we need to be able to have something in one hand and be able to say that is a threat or that is not, and then if necessary, draw our gun and do something about it. If you have a light on your gun, that's great, but you still have to have a light in your hand because we don't want to be pointing our gun at stuff and then not wanting to shoot it. What if it's just a little kid, or it's not what you thought it was at all, but it's dark out. So if there's a 50% chance of rain, you'd carry an umbrella, right? Well, there's a 50% of the day is dark, more so depending on what time of year it is and where you live. But why don't we carry a flashlight? I will tell you that since I started carrying one, it is by far the most used tool that I have on my person. I would say more so even than my pocket knife, and I use my pocket knife every day. I use my flashlight pretty much every day. My kids borrow it all the time. Now they're carrying flashlights because I keep telling them, where's yours? They all have them, but they don't carry them. It's funny how that works out. But so you need to carry a flashlight. You need to know what's going on around you. Also, it's a deterrent. If all of a sudden somebody comes to you and you're like, hey buddy, watch out. Well, you just went blind. Like that totally took them out of the fight and you didn't have to do anything about it. And that gave you your opportunity to get out of the way, get out of there and go do something else instead of getting in a fight. So you definitely need to carry a light. So what kind of light do you get? Well, there's two brands that I would recommend, and those are Surefire and Streamlight, in that order. So you have to trust your life to every piece of gear that you carry. So would you trust your life to that no-name light you got for $2 off Amazon, or that you picked up by the candy bars at Walmart? I don't. I would not. But your life's worth whatever you think it's worth. So Surefire first, Streamlight second. To me, there's no other brand that's worth talking about at this point in time. What do you want out of the light? Well, in a carry light, I want something that has a temporary switch to turn on and off. It does not click. I have to hold the button on for it to go on. Okay, if I want it to stay on, which is an option with this light, this is a Surefire LX2. Okay, I believe they're discontinued, but you can still get them online. Surefire LX2. You can twist the cap, and it will lock the light on. So if I need to do something administrative where I'm working around with stuff, which is honestly what I use this light for quite a bit, I need to do something, I can twist it on, hold it, I can hold it in my mouth or do whatever I got to do. I also put this bungee cord on there, a little piece of elastic 550 cord, and I can take it and wrap it around my hand. And now my hand, although it's a little harder, is still fully functional and being able to be used to do something. Probably not going to have the time in a fight to actually do this. But you never know. If I had to, administer, somebody got shot or got hurt and I had to administer some type of first aid or medical care, it would be nice to be able to wrap that around my hands and do what I needed to do and still have both hands to do it. Because you don't always need that light 100% on what you're doing, but you need the light in the area or in the vicinity, or maybe you need it on there a little bit. You can work without it while it's around, and that's fine. That may be all you need, and you still have use of both hands without having to sacrifice what do I do with the light. Same is true if you were shooting and you had the option to do this. You could reload your gun, or you could shoot with two hands and without losing your light or dropping your light or putting it back away. So it's a nice option to have. That's something I use on almost a daily basis, is this elastic paracord, especially in the wintertime when I'm outside. It gets dark at like 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm outside quite a bit. The paracord's nice. Not necessarily going to be a huge factor in a fight. So temporary light. I don't want a strobe option, because it doesn't do me a lot of good, and a lot of times the strobe options, you have to click them on. So I have another Surefire light here. This is a GX2. This is what I use for my rifles because it's cheap. It's like 50 bucks, and it's really bright. So it has a low setting, and then it has a high setting, and that's it. And this one does click on and off, but I want that for a weapon light because I don't want to have to hold my hand out there while I'm on a weapon, so on a rifle. So, okay. But I want a temporary switch. Another reason is, in a fight, you tend to do things more than you normally would. So I'm gonna push that button, and everybody says a lot of these lights, like you can hold them and they go on, and then they let off. But I'm telling you, in a fight, what you're gonna do, I've seen it in Force on Force stuff, is you're gonna go all the way, you're gonna press really hard, and then you're gonna think you let go, and your light's still on, and now you're a giant target. So if you have to use your gun, you're in a fight, they are gonna shoot at this light. They're gonna aim at the light. They're gonna either aim at the light or the muzzle blast. Okay, and so you let go, and this thing's hanging or dangling or whatever, but it's a bright light. Now you just lit yourself up, and they know exactly where you're at. So you want something with a temporary push button on it, and then the option to somehow maybe do another function and turn it on permanently if you needed to work with it. So push button start is what I call it. Right? And then how many lumens? Well, that's a big debate. Everybody says, how many lumens do I want? You want all of them, as many as you can get. So on average, I know there's lights out there with 500,000 lumens. This light's, I think it's 15 or 20 on the low setting and 200 on the bright setting, and it will stop you dead in your tracks. Like get your eyes, your instantaneous responses to stop doing what you're doing. So that's plenty to me. A good rule of thumb is 1 lumen per yard to identify, and 1 lumen for every half yard to shoot. So if I needed to say this is a person or it's an animal, that 1 lumen per yard, so 200 lumens, I could probably get out to 200 yards, and I can identify what's going on and what that is. But if I needed to identify like friend or foe and be able to make a shot, a half lumen per yard is pushing it. So that would, at a 200 lumen light, probably get me to 100 yards. And at 100 yards, I can confidently identify what's going on in pitch black with this light. I have no problem with it. And this is also not a light on my rifle, it's a light on, to carry with my handgun, and a 100-yard shot with my handgun's probably not gonna happen. So just keep that in mind. What are you using a light for? And just adapt accordingly. So Surefire, by far, best bang for your buck. They work no matter what. I had somebody I know had a Surefire light, and they let their girlfriend clean their oven with it. They were cleaning their oven, and she left it in there and then went and preheated her oven the next day to start cooking dinner, and she heated the light up to 380 degrees. And pulled it out, let it cool off, changed the batteries, worked flawlessly. So I don't know that I would want to do that, but the fact that it did happen, it's good to know. This light's been wet, ran over, muddy, no issues, still working strong. I've been carrying this light for about a little over 2 years. All right, guys, if you have any questions, comment below or shoot me an email. Thank you. Have a good day.